So, where are we today? Well, from the rear view mirror, I can see a lighthouse. So we are in, no, it's not Blackpool, we are in sunny North Shields. And we are on the hunt for something called Collingwood's Monument. Now, off the top of my head, Collingwood, he was an admiral during, I think he was born 1700s, late 1700s, died probably about early 1800s. I'm not a historian, but I prefer trail tracks and things like that. But oh, there's a dog having a shite. That's nice. So this guy was a admiral, and he was apparently the left-hand man of Lord Nelson. Now, Nelson was the guy in the Battle of Trafalgar. But again, I'm not a military historian, so we'll miss that. So I'm going to walk from North Shields along to this monument and hopefully find it. Now, where I am at the moment, I can see the mouth of the Tyne behind me, so I'm going to work my way along, and then supposedly the monument is overlooking the sea. So wish me luck. I'm just at a place called Laurel Park. Now, can you guess why it's called Laurel Park? I shall show you if you come in and have a look. Now, who's that guy over there? You may recognise him if you recognise old films. That's Stan Laurel from Laurel and Hardy. Now, why is he here in North Shields? Well, he lived in the area. Now, whether he lived in this street or not is another matter entirely, but he did live here. And I know I used to have, or my father used to have, a photograph of, now was it both of them or just him? And they were down on the beach, down at Tynemouth, or in fact it was colour coats, and it was swarming with people. So, born in this area, went to America and became a big movie star, so good for him. So let's work our way out, and as you can see, there's the mouth of the Tyne there, and there is a ferry coming in, so I can have a look at that as I walk along there. Now, this building here is quite important. This building here is called the Highlight. There was a highlight and a low light. And the whole point of them was the sailors could line them up and get through the Tyne safely. And I'll show you that more when we get down to the bottom as to how that works. So if I can cross here without getting destroyed by a car. There you go. Rebuilt in 1860, eh? Nice building. Ah, there you go. So there's the low light there. That white building is called the low light. Now, if you're coming in the Tyne in a ship between those two lighthouses, you need to line up the low light there and the highlight, thus giving you a safe vector to get into the Tyne. So there's a handy bit of information for you if you're ever out in a dinghy. And there's the Tyne. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to sing Fog on the Tyne. It's quite quiet today. I was expecting big sunshine, but it's not looking very nice. And there's South Shields across the water. Now, what are they doing in there? Aha, and there's the ferry coming in. Now the ferries come along the River Tyne and the dock much further along. So way down the river there. Now, is that a type of drug, or is the N missing from entrance? Right, we're down on the quayside. So what I'm looking for is a shop that's down here that's supposed to have some rarefied comments in the window. So we'll have a look along and see what we can find here. Now that place used to be cheap as chips. Now, not quite. Okay, now I'm pretty sure this shop's along here somewhere. And there's the ferry. It's huge. Look at the people. Find out how many double enders there are. So you've got well hung, and you've got bacon ribs, and look at that, best looking blokes on their quay. And then the bacon is like the staff, well hung like that, very funny. And then black pudding, no lumps of fat, not like the wife. You won't believe the prices. Now, does that mean they're good or they're bad? Don't go bacon my heart. Couldn't if I fried. Oh God, lyrics of a song. What else we got? Please do not feed the staff. Don't feel ripped off. Everybody is. Homemade soup, slight side effect, wind. Reward for the dog. Dog and wife missing, reward for the dog, I like that. All chicken lip is free. Right, I'm back. I had to stop because that bloody road sweep went past and I couldn't hear myself think. Right, what we got here, boiled sweets. Do not enter this shop if you have no sense of humour. See, I like that. Come in and see the staff and have a laugh. So I like that. That's William Wright Limited. See, sense of humour, nothing wrong with that. So, when is that road sweeper going to sweep off? Oh, now there's a bus. Right, I'm off. There's the low light. And that's where we started, up on the hill, the highlight. So I think off the top of my head the highlight used to have a green light, and I think that one was red, because generally you have green on the right and red on the left when you're coming into port. But when we get along I'll show you how they line up and actually help you get into the Tyne there. So we'll work our way along here. Oh, and there's an angry looking lady. Look at the size of those cannons. Now in the distance I can see where we're headed. That is Collingwood's monument. So true to the word, it does certainly look out to sea, and it must be pretty big. I can see it from here, it's still miles away. So we're down right near the river now, and here's a bit of history for you. Those buildings there, not the glass ones there, but those ones with the strange roof with the slats, they used to be the smokehouses, where you'd get smoked kippers. Now smoked kippers are known as red herring. So you'll have heard this saying, oh that's just a red herring, as in it's a load of rubbish because red herrings don't exist. There is no such thing as a red herring. It's been smoked. That's why they're changing colour. So when I was a kid, I can remember going in there, maybe it was at that building or that building, and seeing a woman called Kipper Nancy, and she was doing all the fish there. Very nice. You used to be able to smell that for miles, but they don't seem to do it anymore. Actually, they're probably pretty bad for you because smoking stuff's carcinogenic. So we'll probably all kill ourselves with lovely smoked kippers. And that's on the South Shield side of the river. Now it's gone quite calm. No, hardly any wind. Thank God. Where's the bloody sun? Just spotted a little lobster pot there. Now you can see how a lobster pot works. You hang bait in, and then you have an entrance where the lobsters can get in, drop down, and then can't get back out again. So you leave them out for 12 hours and come back in your own boat, and there should be lobsters in there. So you can see they kind of get back up to that pipe where they come in. Now, I always wanted to have big guns, but not like this. On the arms, and look at the size of that. I bet that weighs a pretty penny. So, now don't worry, they don't fire anymore. So let's work our way along. Yeah, we've got to go past the stinky fish shops, which absolutely stink. I've just discovered a 72-inch big boy. Now think of that. Wait a minute, it's not that type of boy, it's spelt differently, and it's NCN, not inch, sorry. I'm just trying to get extra hits, you see. If I mention a 72-inch big boy, everyone on the internet will click. That's just one of the boys, or as Americans call them, buoy. I don't know why. I'm not saying you're wrong. You're probably in the majority due to numbers, so the English language does change over time. I'm willing to accept that, but it is boy, not buoy. Now look at the windows on that. If I was the window cleaner, I'd charge triple. What an interesting building. I can't remember, that used to be a smokehouse, or linked to the smokehouses. Now it seems to be some sort of studio. Very interesting windows. Looks like a little greenhouse on the top. You can almost see from this point how the low light and high light sort of line up, and then if you imagine a straight line straight out and then between the lighthouses. So the reason for that was on this left hand side there's a thing called the Black Middens. Now if I zoom in you might be able to see them. Yep, that's Bishop's Point or whatever it's called. That's just some of the Black Middens. Now they're horrific rocks. That's claimed quite a few ships. And there's the lifeboat centre. They do an excellent job and don't get enough support from the government. But you know, governments aren't there to help people, you need to remember that. They're there to fleece you and forcibly take money from you under threats of imprisonment. That's kind of how governments work. And there's that building with the interesting glass, look. Incredible. Okay, well, we're going to head along now. Try and find Collingwood. Where is he? There he is. You can just see, actually, that is the Volunteer Life Service, I think. But I'll have a look when I get there. So I've got to work my way along there past the Black Middens. Just found some sea coal there. And believe it or not, you can burn that if you dry it out. So that is actual coal, even though it's smoothed off because of the water. And you can see a lot there in the water. So all along here is sea coal that you can use to burn out. Quarter way along now, as you can see. But I'm going to head up because we've come to a part where you've got Knott's Flats, And Knott's Flats used to be like, oh, years ago, it was a bit like a wild jungle. Not the same now, and you can't say that about everyone who lived there, but it was a bit wild. I remember when they built the new houses around the back, with certain people pelting the roofs with stones. So again, not everyone was doing that, just some people. So I don't want any comments saying, stop having to go with everyone who lives there. I'm not. Normal people live in these places as well. So Collingwood's just behind me, and you can see how far I've come. I've come all the way along there. I'm going to continue up this bank because you can get some good views up here. So I need to duck under this tree. Crumbs. I think they could do with a garden around here. And then duck under another tree. Christ. Right, we're getting there. As you can see, we're getting higher up. So, continue. Oh, here's some free food. There you go. Free food. Brambles, aka blackberry. I'm not going to eat those particular ones because, well, depending on the height, it could have rat urine on or anything, so we're nearly there. Look at the state of those stairs behind me. Falling to bits. I'll give it a shot though. And there's the flats. There is a Knott's Flats. They've got a cracking view, look. Very nice. Right, we'll continue. I'm not going to go up them stairs, they look naff. There's a fly trying to bite me, get off. Get off. It's persistent. Oh, that wasn't me, more T-Vic at it. That was a boat, even though I can't see one. Right, we're getting up here. You get a great view from up here, and I'm not quite at the top yet. You can see down the Tyne there. That there is the North Shields ferry. So you have the little blue structure, and then the ferry, which then takes people across the river to South Shields. And then, as you can see, or should, if you've been listening, there's the low light. Where's the highlight? There's the highlight where we started. That white building. Cracking view from up here. And it's not a bad day. And there is Collingwood's monument. He didn't live in this area, I don't think, but I know his family did. I think his dad was some sort of mega rich merchant in Newcastle. That's how he got his start in life, I think. All that money. And look, I think that's Bishop's Point. Correct me if I'm wrong, you know, I haven't fished here for a lot of years, but and then in there is the Black Middens. I just know from fishing that is totally rocky. I hate fishing when it's rocky because you lose hooks. In fact, if you look over there just in the distance, you can see where the Great North Run finishes. That piece of greenery there. I know this is hard to see, and I'm at extreme zoom levels here, but that's where it finishes. Nice place actually, nice and quiet over there. Anyway, there's Knott's Flats. Now I'm not getting pelted, so you see, times change. Now where are they off to? There's a dandelion. You can eat them actually. I forget whether it's the top or the bottom, so don't take my advice, but they're actually called a dandelion. I'm pretty sure it's a mispronunciation of a French word, sort of dandelion or something. That's where it comes from anyway. Now there's a dandelion that's ready to seed, so let's help it on its way. So if I blow this, see the way they come off? Each one of those has a seed on. Let's give them a send off. And off they go. I've finally made it to the top, so that's a pretty good view there. Very nice. Look at that. Pick it up. We are high up, so we can't be much further from the monument. I'm hoping the sun comes out, because rarely, and it is a rumour, the sun sometimes comes out in the UK. There are documents to prove that. So you never know, we could be lucky, but highly unlikely. Collingwood's monument should be around here. Where is it? There's those rocks I pointed out before. If the tide's going out, you'll probably see more of them on the way back. There's the monument. Stood looking out to sea. There's Collingwood. Admiral Collingwood, I should say. So I'll tell you what I know about him. He was definitely taking part in the Battle of Trafalgar with Nelson, and I think Nelson fell and he took over. And I'm pretty sure he got a peerage for that, or he was knighted, or I cannot remember. I should have researched, but that's not the way I do it. I like to find things out as I go along. It's no good me turning up and telling you everything. I want to come and find, facts for myself. Now you can see on the front there, I know this for a fact because I got told years ago, those cannons there are off his ship. 4 cannons off his ship, so they must be pretty big. And they'll have been used, no doubt. Let's see what we can find. There's nobody about. Now usually this area is pretty busy. In fact, I think years ago I camped here. I'm pretty sure it was either down there, probably down there, or on the left there. And it was cold. Whew. Very cold. I think I was with my dad that time. I must ask him. And in the distance, you can see, now that is Tynemouth Priory. You can tell from the flag that it's a British Heritage owned place now. Pretty big, but there's not a lot left. But to be fair, I think that's 7th century. So come on, 7th century is pretty good. Modern houses these days don't last 50 years; they've fallen to bits. So they're doing a pretty good job. there's a better shot of the Priory. There's not a lot left. There's the entrance at the back, and then the seaward side, not a lot left. And that looks out onto the sea. There's the lighthouse there. I might pop along there and we'll have a look, because I've reached Collingwood's monument, but we've got time, you know. There's one of them huge cannons. So, but I think you've got a pier to get in that monument. So here's my advice. You go on Google Maps, you can walk around in 360 degrees for nothing. There's my advice. I'll put the link in the description. Bang! Just saved yourself 10 quid. Job's a good one. Because I don't think you should have to pay to learn about history. It's not right. You know, they say, oh, if you don't learn about history, you forget the mistakes of the past. Right, well, can I learn about it then? No. You've got to be rich for education. It's just not right. I mean, am I wrong in saying that universal health care seems like the right thing to do? Can you not have the same thing to be held true with knowledge? You know, it seems knowledge behind a pier wall can be a dangerous thing. And who has control of it? I don't know. I mean, you know the answer people give. Well, where do you think the money's going to come from? It's funny how we can find plenty of money to have a war, put it that way. Bizarre that, isn't it? It just materialises out of thin air when necessary. Now there's a ship coming back there. Now, have you noticed that? It's surrounded by seagulls. Now why might that be? Well, what happens is they're coming back to port, they ditch all the crap over the side, so the seagulls know that, so they're there nicking all the bits of fish. Look at them all. There's a trail of them. There's a smaller vessel in the background. But there, that's quite a big fishing boat, that. They're obviously dumping something. You can see all the seagulls. My God, I think the sun is about to come out. So I'm going to go and buy a trumpet and sound a fanfare. In fact, if you look at the beach over there, there is some sun on it. My God. I never thought it was possible. Here I am, sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the ships coming in and going out again. No, hang on, that's downstairs. Well, I'm going to have a break. The sun is tentatively coming out. Remains to be seen though. And I'm treating myself to something exotic. Look at this. Cheese sandwich. Boring staple, eh? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little break, do a time lapse or two, and then I'm going to head along down, and I'm going to probably go along and see the lighthouse actually. We'll see what the view looks like from there, because it seems like quite a nice day, and then I'll probably work my way back and see what else I can see. But there's nobody about, which is nice. Toodaloo. Passing the sailing club here. beach is never that busy, to be honest. Not too windy down here, thank God. There's a little beach. So this lighthouse, off the top of my head, I know it's been destroyed about at least two times, I think maybe three. See it right at the end there. It's been, I showed storm damaged twice, and they remodeled it once, and it's taken a battering, put it that way. You can see the priory up there, 7th century. But a rip off, don't pay to go in. I had climbing equipment you could get in for nothing. Anyway, so as I was saying, this has been smashed down quite a few times, but it seems alright now. Seem happy with it the way it is. I'm sure that'll change again. So it's a nice little bay that. I wonder what that's like for fishing. Gotta be pretty good. Oh, too many rocks for me. I hate that. I hate it. Right, let's get onto this pier. I think it's about, looks about nearly 800 metres long, maybe. That's a guess. Just at the start of the pier now. There's the pier there. I'm just having a look around here. I'm pretty sure this is the spot that photographers use, because when there's a storm on, if you can hear me over the din of those seagulls, when there's a storm on, you get the North Sea whacking off there, and it goes right up, so you get some pretty good photographs. Some pretty epic cliffs here. So, pretty good for photography actually. There's already people on there, so we'll pop along and see what's at the end. Listen to those seagulls. Seagulls always sound like someone's trying to kill them. Shut up! Halfway there. It's longer than it looks. Definitely got to be like 800, 900 metres. Maybe it's not quite a mile, but it's a distance. You see, I'm hoping to get a good view from here, but it's probably so far away you can't see anything. You've walked too far. There's plenty of seagulls around here. Finally, we've made it, and of course bang on time, it's drizzling. So remember earlier I was saying the sun might come out. Well, you can see it on the water over there, but it's drizzling, so I've got rain all over the screen. And just think of it, the furthest point away and it's piddling down. That's handy. Anyway, we're out, we're alive, and there's fresh air, so you can't really complain. And skin is waterproof, so you know, no need to panic. So this looks like quite a nice lighthouse. It's not very tall, but an interesting looking one nonetheless. There's a fisherman down there after mackerel or cod. It's peeing down, but I made it. So, little boat out there. There it is there. There's the lighthouse. It's starting to rain. In fact, I'll show you. If you look back along the river, see that white haze? There. That is rain. You can feel it now. It's starting to come on, so the camera's getting wet. So, try and enjoy the rain. So, I'll catch you soon. See all that on my glasses? What wonderful weather. Oh, fantastic. Oh, I love it when it rains every day of the week. Oh, fantastic. Oh, look here. Everything. I'll tell you something. If you want to grow something in the UK that needs a lot of water, you're in luck. Or if you get thirsty a lot, you're in luck. Look. Luckily, skin's waterproof. This is an S8 Samsung, so I think it's IPX6 or 8, hopefully 8. So waterproof. Torch is a Thorfire, I think that's IPX8, so waterproof. GoPro, waterproof case. So thankfully I brought my diving kit. Christ, say having a shower. Actually, I should have brought some shampoo. I could have had a nice blow dry on the end of the dock. Get some of this water off. Anyway, it's all fun. It's all fun. So I work my way back along, and I wouldn't care. Behind it's sunny. Us Brits love whinging about the weather, you know. I love it. Well, it stopped raining. It's all off my glasses though. But it has stopped. So that's a positive. In fact, it looks like the sun's coming out after I've been drenched. That's ridiculous. Look at that sun out. You know, when they say the weather in Britain is changeable, that's how changeable it is. 4 minutes ago I was getting drenched, now the sun's out. Fantastic. Actually, that being the case, where's the rainbow? I at least deserve a rainbow. I might go and get a coffee actually, because I'm soaking wet. Luckily, I've got my Gore-Tex A6 on, so waterproof. Dear me. Never mind, never mind. I've eventually made it up to the Priory. Now can you believe it? Blue sky over there, sun sort of. I mean, I've just been drenched, I don't understand it. So there's the Priory there, really old, but looks like they're after cash, so I'll not pop in there. But you get some good views from there actually. There's the little beach, which is really nice. In fact, there's a better one just along in Cullercoats though. That's Gibraltar Rock, that's been there for years. So, sun and shine today, which is nice. In fact, that water actually looks nice. So, I might head back, but I fancy a coffee. Well, it's still raining, but I'm at the Tynemouth Volunteer Life Brigade Museum, so let's have a look. The weather's very poor. Never mind. So, come up this little street you see, and there's some sort of a museum apparently. I like that, look, palm tree in the background now, peeing with rain. It's absolutely piddling down. And there's the Life Brigade thing in the background. Let's have a look. Entrance at rear. Oh my, heard that before. Right, welcome to the unique Watch House Museum. There is no access to the monument. Oh, I know that. You can see the monument behind there. Stop raining. Let's have a look. Closed. Well, that's a good museum. Everything's always closed, especially when it's raining. You would normally get a good view from here, but as you can see, you can't even see the river. It's like bloody hailstones now. So I'm sure that's a good museum if you can get in, but I can't get in. Let's have a look at this fantastic view. And there's the view, but it's raining so heavily you probably can't see anything. Look, that's a lot of rain. So I'm going to run back. Stop raining. We'll have a miniature river Tyne. Well, it's supposed to be the path, but you know, they're bloody wet. Any minute now it'll stop raining and it'll be gorgeous. That's my theory. You'll have another miniature river Tyne flowing down the path, lovely. I mean, I tell you what, there's no one around now as soon as it starts raining. Some brave shellfish collectors there, because it's pretty wet. There's a lot you can get from there. You know, you can get mussels, which I don't advise picking unless you know where you're getting them from and it's the right time, because you can get what's it called, red tide, I think, which is a bacterial thing, or is it the algae, I forget, but not such a good idea unless they're flushed. But the limpets are pretty good. You can kick them off easy enough and eat them and just cook them up. So plenty shellfish to be had there. There's the ferry off to better weather. Now what are they digging for? There's a guy way out there with a bucket. It's almost like they're digging in the shallows. What's he after? Raise a clam? He's dug a hole. I'm not sure what they're digging. They're willing to put up with the rain to do it, it must be important. And they all seem to have matching clothes on, so the Environment Agency coming to take a sample. strange. There's the gaffer telling him to hurry up, look. Hurry up, there's always someone who thinks they know better, isn't there? Doing no work themselves. So I'm not sure what they're up to, but I'm nearly back. And there's everyone sat in their car eating fish and chips, avoiding the rain like I should be doing. And you see those lines? Now they are tyres. Now, the reason people leave them out is all the crabs go in and then you can use them for bait. That's an old trick, that. But they don't seem to be on the tyres, they seem to be on the rest of it. So I'm not sure what they're doing. And there's the tug coming in, or the pilot boat as they call it, which escorted that ship out, which you can't see now, he's away. God knows what they're digging. Look, mine's bigger than yours. No, it's not. Aha! That should help me cool off in this red hot heat. I don't think I'll bother, it's absolutely freezing. And that guy's still digging away. What's he after? Has he lost a Rolex or something? How's that for a musical instrument? Sounds like someone playing the bloody drums. Well, there's Lord Collingwood off in the clouds, and I'm nearly back. I'm nearly done my shower, so it's a shame I didn't bring any soap, because I could have come up a treat. I'd be shining by now. Look at that, the plant growing out the wall. We don't need soil, we're Geordie plants. We'll grow out the wall. Cheers. Aye. Look at the little fish on there. See that? The waves with the fish. Reminds me of the ones you see in the Forbidden City in Beijing. But they're obviously little dragon things, aren't they? I can't remember, it was that long since I was there. Right, skin soup. The Casa Sambuca. I don't think I'll be having skin soup because I'm not a zombie. Still raining. Just a tiny flight of stairs to go, and oh bloody hell. Right, let's begin. It'll be worth it for the view. Watch this, I'll get to the top and I'll have nothing to see it because I'll be out of breath. In fact, I could tell you a story about this flight of stairs years ago when I was a young'un. I had a youth trainee and I was told, take him to the quay, keep him busy, so I did. Now what they didn't tell me was he had asthma. And I made him run up here. And I got to the top and he nearly collapsed. And I was giving him a hard time, and it wasn't until I got back to the office that they said, oh, careful, he's got bad asthma. So I said, right, you could have told me that before, he was nearly dead. So, premature death was avoided. Crumbs, I had to deal with a stair lift. Well, we're nearly there. Nearly at the top, I won't get a wonderful view of the drizzle. And then that'll be the end, I think. Hard enough for one day. Oh, made it. Right, back to the car. Well, I'm back. And Mr. Laurel, who's through there. Looks like the last laugh's on me because I got wet. Even that pigeon's not particularly impressed. Look at him. Not impressed at all. Well, I've had my shower and I've had a walk about, so time to bugger off. Well, my glasses are full of water. Water time. So look, let's recap. Well, there's nothing to recap really, I got drenched. However, it was fun, fresh air and free. That's how I like it. So I'm going to pop off now. Collingwood, interesting monument, pretty quiet there. You can get some excellent views. The pier, nice, but check the weather. I didn't, and I got the end and it started raining, so do check that. Everything I did today was free. I'm going to put links in the description, including copyright stuff. And I'm out of here. Bye bye, bing bong.